It's the second match in our opening day double-header in Thailand as Group G, as Malaysia's Johor Darul Tazim take on Nagoya Grampus from Japan in a first ever AFC Champions League meeting between these two sides. We're at the fantastic Raja Mangala Stadium in Bangkok, but no supporters, alas, due to these COVID pandemic times. But nevertheless, the football should be equally as exciting. Pohang Steelers got their campaign off to winning ways with a 2-0 victory over Ratchaburi from Thailand a little earlier on today. They make up Group G. Just the top team guaranteed a place in the knockout stages. 3 of the 5 best second-place teams will join them in the knockout rounds in September. 29 degrees, it's dropped just a couple of degrees from what it was earlier here in Bangkok. Heat and humidity bound to play a part over the next 3 weeks competition as 20 teams battle it out. This newly expanded 40-team AFC Champions League for 2021. Of course, we've already had the Western section with 8 teams already booking their place in the round of 16. Which 8 teams from the East will join them? We'll find out by July the 11th, which is when the final matches are played. The Nagoya players just making their way from the dressing rooms here. Is everything socially distanced? The players have been in that bio bubble, all the teams in fact in the bio bubble, all their staff. Regular testing, the masks have to be worn of course, and the substitutes will socially distance as well. It's nice to have football back on the agenda. Of course, so much was cancelled over the last 18 months because of the pandemic. The Euro 2020 Championships going on at the moment with crowds in the stadiums as well. Hopefully it won't be too long before this part of the world can welcome spectators back to get behind their teams. It's Benjamin Mora, the man just standing up there, the Mexican in charge of Johor. Substitutes have already made their way up to their socially distanced seating in the stands. And we await the arrival of the 2 teams, the 2 starting 11s that will make their way out to the centre in just a moment. Everybody looking to depose Ulsan Hyundai as the AFC champions, having won the competition last year when the final stages of the group stage and the knockout stages were made, or were played rather, in Doha in Qatar. It is the Korea Republic that produced most AFC champions, 12 of them in total. Japan just behind them with 7. And when you look back at the record of the East and West, the East has produced 25 winners of this competition, the West just 11. Some strong teams have already made their way through from the Eastern section. 3 Iranian teams, Tractor Estegal and Persepolis, last year's beaten finalists. But the East is always a very strong section, technically very different from the West as well. We know how technically gifted the Korea Republic sides are, as are the Japanese. Johor playing in their second Champions League group stage campaign. Really is a magnificent stadium here in Bangkok. It was built purposely for the 1998 Asian Games, actually hosted the AFC Cup final back in 2007 as well. We have got a bit of false crowd noise, as you can hear, just to try and create a little bit of atmosphere for the players. Very difficult sometimes, but we saw some great football in the western section. Those games held in Saudi Arabia, in Goa, in Sharjah, and with Thailand and Uzbekistan the hosts, no reason to think that this eastern section, despite the lack of crowds, won't be equally as exciting. The two teams making their way out. Nagoya in the whites on the left of your picture. Johor, that sit top of the Malaysian Premier League, or the Malaysian Liga Super as it's called. Nagoya Grampus second in the J-League at the moment, 18 points behind the leaders Kawasaki Frontale, but looking to get a boost from this competition. Players will face each other and give a round of applause as the new way of greeting the teams at the start, rather than the traditional handshakes, of course. Well, let's take a look at the two-team lineups. As we mentioned, Johor top of the Malaysian Super League. Their side shows 3 changes from their last league match against Palau Penang. Shane Lowry, Afiq Fazail and Leandro are the players to come in. They will go in a 4-3-3 formation, possibly in a 4-4-2. It can switch a little with Rashid Safawi dropping back alongside Insat Leandro and Afiq in that central 4. De Silva will be the central striker, partnered by Arif. Referees from the UAE, Mohammed Abdullah Hassan, recently took charge of the Yemen, Uzbekistan and Palestine, Singapore World Cup qualifying matches. Another very experienced FIFA official, Omar Yakubi, is the 4th official. Fazel Malias and Tajuki Yamamoto are the 2 respective captains. Is the Nagoya lineup. Their last outing was a 5-0 Emperor Cup win over Mizushima. They make 5 changes. Shinosuke comes into the back 4. The other 4 changes all come across the 3-man midfield. Mateus, Abe and Soma all come in, as does Ryogo Namasaki up front. Fairly solid defence. 4 foreigners in the Malaysians' starting lineup, just the 2 for Nagoya. 4 foreigners are allowed, another one on the bench for Johor. Shane Lowry is an interesting addition to the squad. Coach opted to leave out Gonzalo Cabrera, the Brazilian forward, to bring in Lowry to add a little bit of steel at the back alongside Maurizio. Be interesting to see how that pans out for Johor as this tournament wears on. Nagoya Grampus, known as the Noble Barbarian, their club nickname, and they're up against the Southern Tigers. Johor situated just a short distance from the Malaysian capital, Kuala Lumpur. So it will be Nagoya Grampus all in white that get us underway. It's the second game of the day in Group G as the AFC Champions League group stages gets well underway. An early handball there from Bergson. A free kick inside the opening 10 seconds. Hadn't even got our clock started. Straight away Nagoya looking to get on the front foot with Soma. It's away by Lowry. Lowry under the ball once again, only as far as Inagaki, flicked on by Yonemoto. And the first shot of the game comes in from Abe in midfield. Benjamin Mora, man who hails from Mexico, coached in the lower leagues in Mexico before moving to the Johor reserves in 2016. Was unknown in Mexico before coming to Malaysia, but his successes here have made him a bit of a cult hero back home. Soma's ball in, which should be plucked out of the air by Fazel, and he is. Comfortable take for the Johor captain. Another foreign coach in charge of Nagoya, Massimo Ficadenti. Played as a midfielder in his playing days, along with, or mainly with Verona and Torino. Has been in charge of Nagoya for some 63 matches now. He's won more than half of them, 33 wins, just 16 defeats. There's Mateus. Nagoya have made a very positive start here. Nice little drop of the shoulder from Mateus. Went for goal. Fazel makes the save. Yamazaki was closing in the centre. So Nagoya getting off very much on the front foot here. Qualified by finishing third in the 2020 J-League. Their successes recently have been built on a very good defence. They had the meanest defence in the J-League last season, conceded just 28 goals. And this season they've conceded 13. Only Sagan Tosu have conceded less with 8. And Mitch Langerak, the goalkeeper, broke a 30-year clean sheet record last year. 9 games, 824 minutes without conceding a goal. So a lot to do for Johor here if they're to take the points. It's given away to Soma. Abe. Curled in again. It's the busy Lowry at the back who doing the job he's been brought in for. It is his debut today for Johor, having moved from Al Ahly in Qatar. Afiq. It's Maurizio just caught by Yamasaki. Maurizio from Brazil, one of the 4 foreigners in the Johor lineup. Fourth appearance in the AFC Champions League for Nagoya Grampus. They have reached the round of 16 on the 3 occasions that they've been in the competition before. In fact, the best was when they reached the semis back in 2009. Lost out to the Saudis. Al Ittihad 8-3 on aggregate. High-scoring couple of matches. That's a good ball inside the fullback from Abe, but Corbinong will get there first. One by Nashto Insa. Well played by Yonemoto, the captain, into space, but curling away behind for a goal kick. So Thailand making up 3 of the venues for this centralised group stages. Bangkok, where we are now. Thonburi and Buranam providing the other 2. 2 stadiums in Tashkent in Uzbekistan provide the backdrop for 2 of the groups as well. There is still 1 team to book a place in the group stages. Group F awaits the winners of the playoff tomorrow between Shanghai Port FC and Kaya FC Iloilo from the Philippines. Zarif looking to mount their first meaningful attack here, Johor. Larry. Away by Kimoto. There's Corbinong's header. They have got a royal owner, Johor. Tunku Ismail Sultan Ibrahim, the Crown Prince of Johor and the first in line of succession to the throne. He's one of the major shareholders of the club. Nudge in the back there from Nashto Insa. Nagoya free kick, just 4 players on the edge of the penalty area. Yonemoto has gone forward, Yamasaki in there as well. It was aimed in towards Yonemoto. Push up is the shout from the Malaysian bench. That's clumsy from Abe. Nashto Insa. Brother Kiko also plays for the club, but not featuring today. In fact, he's not picked in the squad for this. Squads of 30 players, a maximum of 30 players for this AFC Champions League group stage. They would normally be groups of 25, but of course with the pandemic and games coming thick and fast, the AFC decided to let another 5 players be in the squad. Do tend to find that teams call up 1 or 2 players from the reserves or from the youth team as well, because the strength of their squad not always good enough to make up 30. One man to look out for today is the number 9 there, Bergson da Silva, the Brazilian. 11 goals in 11 games since making his debut. Really has been prolific, brought in to replace Diogo. Had lots of South American connections in the past. The most well-known would be Luciano Figueroa, the former Argentinian international, who has a stand named after him at Johor Stadium. Former player and manager. Had to leave the club in October due to family reasons back in Argentina, which is a big disappointment to the supporters who'd taken him to their heart. 25 goals in 40 games as a player. Bergson getting the decision on that occasion. She could be a busy afternoon. Shinosuke at the back looking after Bergson. Here's Maurizio. Not a great ball through to Mitchell Langerak, who makes his first touch, I think, the Australian goalkeeper. Actually retired from international football recently, Mitch Langerak, due to the pandemic. Didn't want to travel too much and put risk to his family, so 8 caps he managed during his career. Here's his opposite number, Farazal, with the goal kick. Hooked away by Corbinon. Maurizio back to his goalkeeper once again, intelligently playing it outside the posts. It's a heavy challenge from Yutaka, which happened right in front of the 2 benches. Yutaka pleading his innocence. It's Kunnalan saying it was an elbow. No, it was an arm up on Safawi, but we've seen that a lot lately. Players been penalised for using their arm when all they're really trying to do is get some elevation with a jump. It's not an elbow, it's just unfortunate from Yutaka that he made contact. Maurizio once again is over the free kick. Leandro coming short, but just been told to go away by Maurizio. A nudge in the back that time from Bergson. Did win the AFC Cup back in 2015, Johor. They beat the Tajikistan side Istiqlal in the final. They were just the second Malaysian side since 1967 to enter a major continental competition, and the first from Malaysia to actually win a continental title back then. Larry shepherds it through to his goalkeeper. Experienced player Shane Lowry started his career at Aston Villa. Back in England, played 74 games for Millwall. "32 years of age now. Adding a bit of experience alongside Maurizio into that back line. As we mentioned earlier on, they had to sacrifice a foreigner to bring in Lowry to give him that strength at the back. Well taken by Safawi. Yutaka foul by Safawi, and a role reversal of that challenge just a moment or so ago on the touchline. Johor didn't have the best preparation for this tournament. They had 14 players away on international duty with the Malaysian national team for some 4 weeks or so. I suppose that's the price you pay for being successful. Top of the table. National team coach taking his pick of the players. Nagoya won 6 in a row at the start of the J-League season. 5 of those games, though, coming by a single goal margin. They really struggled to kill games off. 4 1-0 victories during that time. I think it goes back to what we were saying earlier about the testament to having a strong defence. And they've yet to be troubled so far here inside the opening quarter of an hour. Yutaka. That's good running from Mateus. No trouble though for Maurizio. It's a very pragmatic man, Benjamin Mora. Said when he's doing it, his analysis, Malaysian football, very similar to the English game. Believes that the Mexican football scene is more tactical and more passion-driven. So the media in Mexico believe it's only a matter of time before some of the big clubs in Mexico come calling. There's going to be a yellow card here for Bergson. It is Yutaka that's gone down. Well, it's not, it's Safawi. Those two have had a couple of comings together already, and this time it is Safawi that becomes the first player to go into the book. There's not too much in that. There's an arm on the shoulder from Safawi, but I think the referee possibly realising there was something boiling up between those two and wanting to put a stop to it. Bergson might be fortunate he's only got away with the telling off as well for his reaction to the yellow card. Rashid Safawi, first player booked. 2 yellow cards and you would miss the next game. It's always difficult when you're booked early on in a match as well, particularly if you're in a battle like Safawi and Yutaka are probably going to be throughout the rest of the 90 minutes. The last thing anybody would want to do in this competition is go down to 10 men. Just kept in play there by Soma. Taking on Kunnalan. Kunnalan got back well to concede the corner.
Hey, come on.
More defending here to do for Johor inside the opening 20 minutes. Soma will swing over the corner. He's kept it well away from the goalkeeper. Hooked away by Arif. Yutaka. On by Abe. Inagaki. That's a good ball. A little bit of space here. Oh, it's pulled back for Kimoto, who allowed it to run behind him. And shot on the turn from Soma. Goes wide with the aid of a deflection. Another corner. Decent spell of pressure, this from Nagoya Grampus. So we're known as Grampus 8 for a long time. You might remember back in the days when Arsene Wenger was coach and Gary Lineker pulled on the Grampus 8 shirt. Carlos Queiroz as well also had a spell as coach in the 90s, the former Manchester United assistant and Portugal coach. Another foul inside the Johor penalty area. I say for the lack of chances so far, it's been a good competitive start between these two teams. Pretty evenly matched so far. In by Safawi. It's another challenge, and Safawi really needs to watch his steps, having been booked a moment or so ago, and he's going to get a telling off from the referee. And I just wonder what Benjamin Mora might make of this, because that's Leandro that time. But Safawi did challenge Yutaka once again just before that. Leandro Velasquez, the Argentinian. Shinosuke, Yutaka, Yamasaki. Quickly players back round the ball. Nashito Insa was there around it. Soma just guides that one out to Abe. Curled in once again, but too much height on it. Farazal kept his eye on it just in case, but it was always dropping wide. This is the 40th edition of Asia's Premier Club competition, just the 19th is the AFC Champions League, used to be the AFC Champions Cup before that. 40 teams this year. And of course the big carrot for the winners of the title would be a place in the Club World Cup in 2022. And as Bergson shot long way from goal, it was blocked by Kimoto, who felt the full force of that. In by Safawi. Bergson trying to get there. Langarek, though, quickly off his line to gather. First thing, really, that Langarek's had to do in any great anger. I think referee might just take a check on Kimoto here, who blocked that shot from Bergson. Oh, just caught on the follow-through. Bergson just fell on his back. It was a great block by Kimoto. Played over 100 appearances for Cerezo Osaka in the J-League before moving to Nagoya this season. Cerezo, another team that are involved in the AFC Champions League this season. There's Yonemoto. Kimoto none the worse for that little knock. Nashito Insa. Larry guides it all the way back to his goalkeeper. Working hard at the moment, the Malaysians, to close down the Japanese, make sure they don't get too much room through midfield. It is a slight change in formation to that graphic that we saw right at the start of the match. It's looking more like a 4-2-3-1 with Nashito Insa sitting just in the centre. Going like for like with Nagoya. Often think formations are a very fluid thing anyway. They can have the ability to change very quickly from a 4-2-3-1 to a 4-4-2 or even to the 4-3-3 we saw earlier, as Bergson nicely slipped down the line to Leandro. Shinosuke. Cleared by Langarak. Nashito Insa heads back towards his own goal. It's a dangerous one as well. Abe couldn't get there though. And the corner conceded by Kundalan, taking no chances. It was a poor ball, or a poor header back really by Nashito Insa, putting his defenders under pressure. Larry was on the back foot. Kundalan though quickly across to stab it away from Abe. Mateus over the corner, but as usual we'll have the hold up while the referee acts as more like a wrestling referee to try and break up the pushing, which is going to happen anyway. Kundalan and Abe this time just been told off. Right in front of Farazal. It'll be an in-swinger from Mateus. It's aimed in towards the captain Yonemoto at the near post, but well defended. Nashto Insa that time making up for his error that conceded the initial corner. And just hear the referee saying there, if you push, it's a yellow card. That's a good enough reason as any to stop doing it, I suppose. Another Nagoya attack comes to nothing, cross into the side netting. Bergson there hasn't had much of a sight of goals so far. Insa's there again, and for a second time. Can't keep possession though. Soma, that's pushed out wide again. Just a little bit too much on the pass that time for Soma. Away by Maurizio Kundalan. Well, there's a late challenge and another late challenge. Tuka's involved again, as he has been with most things that have been going on so far. The referee's issued another yellow card. Was it? Yeah, it's Inagaki with the challenge. And he goes into the book to join Safawi. Bergson had a little tread on his foot afterwards as well, which didn't please the Japanese. On by Corbinong. Lots of shouting again from the benches. Lowry. As Leandro brought down. Clumsy challenge more than anything from Abe. No real malice in that. Third season at Johor, Leandro Velasquez, having joined from Rio Negro in Colombia. It's a second spell, actually. Became a bit of a hero with the fans. Leandro Velasquez scored the winning goal in the 2015 AFC Cup final against Istiklal during his first spell at the club. They were delighted to get him back again. He's been a mainstay this season, 4 goals in 11 games in the Super League. Wasteful ball over the top again. That's the one thing that I think both sides will be disappointed with so far in the opening half an hour, is the final ball into the final third at times has left a lot to be desired. It's not really giving the likes of Mateus and Yamazaki and Bergson and Arif on the Johor side a chance to get on the end of anything. Away by Farazal, straight onto the boot of Shinosuke. Yonemoto. Good challenge, Leandro. Safawi. Afiq. Now Insa. Corbinong. Leandro just got there first, but could only divert it away from his teammate. Pushed on by Inagaki, and it was booked a moment or so ago. Good play from Arif back on defensive duty. Insa. Given away again, might get a second chance. Afiq. Clumsy again. Still goalless then. 32 minutes played here in Thailand. Nagoya Grampus having more of the possession in the opening 32 minutes. So neither side has really created anything clear-cut so far. It's all been very stop-start. Safawi, the man, fouled again. Benjamin Mora with an inquiring look towards the fourth official. Away by Yutaka. Soma. Long crossfield ball looking for Yonemoto. Corbinong can just allow that to run out of play. Spent the first 10 years at FC Tokyo, Tajuki Yonemoto, before joining Nagoya in 2019. Has only scored one goal in his 74 appearances. It was against Stoita Trinity back in July 2020. There's another foul on Arif this time. Youngest player in the starting lineup, Arif, just 19 years of age. Played in all three Malaysia World Cup matches recently against Bahrain, Vietnam and Thailand. Now there might be a chance for Johor to put Mitchell Langerak's goal under some pressure. Safawi with the free kick. Can't miss out the first man. Mateus hooks away. I'll be disappointed with that, having got Lowry forward. Just making his way back, as is Maurizio. Always frustrating for both players and coach when you get your defensive players forward and the ball doesn't miss out that first man. Corbinong will try and get the long throw going. He's opted to go short to Bergson. Arif. Just caught in possession. Insa just snapping away. Yonemoto just released it in time. Now Mateus. Corbinong did well. Yonemoto's header. Now Yutaka. Soma. Got to the byline, couldn't keep up with him. That's another corner. Now Maurizio's gone down, just clutching that ankle. Abe just came across as he managed to clear that ball away and just caught him on the follow-through. Painful one. Played 40 times for Lazio in Serie A. Maurizio. Nodded away from in front of the goalkeeper. Soma. Yonemoto. Clutched, or plucked out of the air rather, by Farazal. Wasn't a great ball into the box. Long range shot just wide. Bergson caught it really well, and that's the danger. And Nagoya will know all about his scoring prowess. It just opened up. It was Inagaki that backed off him, inviting the shot, and that's only a metre or so wide of Langerak's post. Stunning goal that would have been had it been just a metre inside that post. You cannot give this man a sight of goal. Gustavo Bergson. Scored twice in 3 successive matches back in April. 7 goals in 4 games. So 11 in 11 so far, Bergson. He's one of the form strikers around in Asia. Shinosuke and co will know, like I say, not to show him a sight of goal. They backed off and almost invited the shoot, or the shot. Referee's been kept quite busy in the opening part of the game so far. Because this new expanded format this year, there were 32 teams involved last year, which meant that the top 2 teams in each group went through. Slightly different proposition now, though, with 40 teams, 5 groups. Top team goes through automatically, and 3 of the 5 best second-place teams. And I mean, just to give you an indication of how sides can just fall foul of that, Alder Hale's Michael Olunga was the top scorer in the Western group with 9 goals in 6 games. But his side failed to qualify because they drew their final game. Needed to win. Sabri Lanucci's side just couldn't find a goal on the night. It's a 0-0 draw, and they went out of the competition. No Qatari representation in the knockout stages this year. It's away by Nashto Insa. Foul on Bergson by Shinosuke. And clearly got hold of his shirt as he challenged for that. Shinosuke made his 100th J-League appearance against Kashiwa Antlers back in May. Not bad when you consider he's only 25 years of age. Shinosuke Nakatani. Played in Japan's recent internationals as well, Shinosuke, against Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan. He was also in the Japan side that beat Mongolia in their qualifier 14-0 just a few weeks ago. Another foul and another yellow card. Nagoya's possession continues to increase, and it's the captain Yonemoto that goes into the book. So both the holding midfielders have been booked now for Nagoya Grampus. I'm not too sure there was much in that in terms of a yellow card. Certainly a foul. And the captain into the book. It's interesting to match up the difference in styles between these two teams. And I think that's the Nagoya coach, Massimo Ficadenti, that's picked up a yellow card as well. So coaches can, of course, be yellow carded as of the start of last season. He too could be sent off if he transgresses again. I was about to say the difference in styles. We mentioned earlier on that Benjamin Moore is saying the Malaysian style is more like an English style, whereas we know how technically gifted the Japanese and the South Korean sides can be in going forward. So sometimes one negates the other. Certainly the Malaysians look to be a very good footballing side. You can see why they sit top of the table. Have lost just one of their 13 league games thus far this season. And just conceded 6 goals as well. We talked about Nagoya Grampus' defence being tight. Johor's is even tighter. That's a lovely header on by Corbin Ong. Now there's a bit of space here for Afik. Nice little check back, win for the curler himself. Bergson was waiting. Langerek snatched it away at his near post. So Riff finding space down that far side. But there were options on for him. I don't think he picked the right one. Yonemoto. Yutaka. Probably the best chance we've seen so far for Johor Darul to take the lead. Nice reverse ball. Soma, who's in behind Maurizio for potentially the first time, but it's a heavy touch over Ranit. Larry was coming across, but his goalkeeper anticipated the situation. Farazal to pluck the ball off his foot. It's interesting as well that Farazal does tend to kick the ball from hands. A lot of goalkeepers these days and a lot of teams look to play out from the back, just rolling the ball out to the central defenders. The decision's gone against Shinosuke. Massimo Ficadenti turns his back to the pitch. Bergson has gone down injured once again. It's been frustrating for the Japanese in this first half. Here's that chance a moment or so ago from Arif. Did brilliantly to turn Kimoto. Bergson just pulled away from his man, just nudged Shinosuke off the ball. And there's a yellow card now for Maurizio. And I think it's fair to say he doesn't necessarily agree with that decision. Yamasaki, the man fouled. It's a late challenge on Safawi, which went unpunished. Good header from Yamasaki, but never troubling the goalkeeper. 2 minutes added time at the end of a first half, which is Rolled along nicely, really. Not been too many clear-cut chances so far. 3 shots for Johor, 2 shots for Nagoya. Both have had 1 shot on target so far, that's all. No goals to show for their efforts thus far. Almost 60% possession for the Japanese. Arif clipping away at Shumpai. So free kick, and maybe the last chance of the first half to see the deadlock broken before half-time. Referee keeping an eagle eye on the pushing and shoving. Insa. Launch back in again. That's going to go out for a goal kick. Again, Massimo Ficadente is not happy about something. Shake of the head from Yutaka. It is a goal kick. Inagaki. Attacker side-foots the ball straight out of play. That will be half-time. Played a little bit over the 2 minutes added time. A first half that was competitive between these two. It was very tight in midfield. 4 yellow cards in that first half, 2 each. Maurizio there picked up 1 of them. Faisal didn't have too much to do in the game. Insa worked hard in midfield. Thought he was starting out wide, but he's played through the centre. Langerak did have a save to make, plucking in a Arif shot out the air as he cut him from that far side. But competitive as it's been, both shots have only managed 1 shot. Both sides have only managed 1 shot on target in that first half. They'll hope for more in the second, and hopefully the deadlock will be broken. Half-time here in Thailand. It's Johor Darul Tazim 0, Nagoya Grampus 0.
simpan maju. Aku tak boleh.
Abe. Good challenge by Corbinong. Mateus with the throw. Just an arm out there from Mateus as he tried to bring that one under control. Right in front of the assistant referee, was never going to get away with that one. Free kick to the Malaysians. So with just one team going through, it's important to try and get off to a win in your opening game. Pohang Steelers beat Ratchaburi from Thailand 2-0 in their opening game, so they sit top of the group on 3 points. If this were to end in a draw, then straight away that gives the Koreans a slight edge at the top. Abe with the foul. Soma. It's a lovely long ball. Just too high though in the centre for Yamasaki. Hasn't had too much in the way of service so far, Yamasaki in the middle. Just 3 goals in 19 appearances in the J-League. Has gone 7 games without a goal. Last scored against Gamba Osaka back in April. Yamasaki, the central striker. Corbinong with a long throw. It's a good throw as well. Arif. Shumpai trying to keep him in the corner. Bergson's there in support. Little nutmeg through the legs, but the defender just in behind Arif to prevent the ball reaching him. There's Mateus. Now Shinosuke. Shumpai. Long raking ball out to the far side. It's brilliantly taken down by Soma. A couple of times he's seen the ball out wide in this second half, Soma. Be another in-swinging corner. Bergson's header away. It's put clear by Arif. That's wasted straight through to Farazal. We talked earlier on about that lack of composure just with that final ball. Sometimes it's not giving the forward players any great chance of getting on the ball. A number of times we've seen long balls go straight through to goalkeepers. On by Abe. There's Yutaka coming forward. Yamasaki. Allowed to run by Mateus. And Shumpai can't keep the ball in play. More shots to the sidelines, Arif with the challenge on Kimoto. Forgot to mention that Massimo Ficadenti, the Nagoya Grampus coach, was also yellow carded in that first half. Bergson quickly closed down by Shinosuke, which is a good thing because we saw Bergson shooting prowess in the first half. That's a lovely ball inside the fullback. Chase on here for Matthias. There's no one in the middle though. Yamasaki arriving now. Not enough height on it. Headed away by Maurizio. And then wide of the target. But a really good chance there for Nagoya Grampus to put Johor's defence under pressure. More players taking this little break just to come across and take some water. Said it's very hot and humid here in Bangkok. Just 10 minutes into the second half. Group stage games resume on Thursday. Couple of games in Group J. Guangzhou against Cerezo Osaka. And Kitchi from Hong Kong taking on Port FC from Thailand on Thursday. And then on Friday, Groups H and G get underway. Well, Group H gets underway, rather. Group G is the group we're seeing at the moment, so they will have played 2 games come the weekend. Groups F and I starting on the 26th. Games coming thick and fast now between now and the 11th of July. Shinosuke. Yutaka. Abe. See more of the ball in the second half, Nagoya Grampus, but not really hurting Johor in the final third. Now there's a chance. Nicely pulled back, Mateus! Just stabbed wide of the post. And that's a great chance. Mateus didn't quite get enough on it to guide it into that bottom corner. Farazal was rooted to the spot. Brilliant run by Soma. Corbinong's attention, maybe just doing enough to put off Mateus. Agonisingly wide of the post. Well out of the reach of the keeper. And just outside the post. Did score, or has scored 6 times in the J-League this season, Mateus. Just 3 games without a goal. Just before by Leandro. Bergson on the turn, closed down again by Shinosuke. Off the head of Safawi. Yamasaki back to win the ball back. No foul is the shot. Bergson goes on! And another shot just over the top. On his left side this time, but he caught it well. It was rising. Langerek not needing to make the save, but another really good effort from Bergson. Half a sight of goal again and pulls the trigger. Forward by Larry. Bergson goes down, clutching his knee. Abe, little bit of space to work with here. Soma's outside him. Yamasaki making a darting run through the centre. Good overlap from Yutaka. Needs some quality. Doesn't find the quality though. Plucked out of the air by Farazal. Well, they've got themselves in good positions a couple of times now in the second half, Nagoya Grampus, but they've still been unable to find a way through this Johor defence. Guided on by Bergson. Arif. No one in the middle. Players arriving now. It was Safawi who went down. It was a hefty challenge, but a fair one. That's when you need Bergson getting forward. Yonemoto. Approaching the hour mark here in Bangkok. Still Johor 0, Nagoya Grampus 0. Yamasaki. Mateus. Goes past Corbin on. Nice pull back. There's a slip. Yamasaki! Well, they're claiming offside, but the flag stays down. Well, Farazal, the captain, protesting to the referee. I think the flag may have gone up. Well, has it gone up on these things? Referee will speak to his assistant on this near side. It looked suspiciously offside when the ball was played through to Yamasaki. It was a tidy finish into the top of the net. Well, the goalkeeper's asking for VAR, but there is no VAR. I'm not too sure. I think he did come from behind Larry, actually, so it's a good decision. It was aimed to the net by Abe. And the goal stands, and Hirajuki Abe gets his first goal of the season. I don't think anybody told the Johor captain, Farazal, that there was no VAR. Somebody got booked in that for complaining as well. It may well have been the captain. We'll confirm the yellow card in a moment, but Hirajuki Abe has put Nagoya Grampus 1-0 up. And Johor Darul not happy. See Benjamin Mora there standing hands on hips. They were quick to race over to the assistant. So Johor Darul have to come from behind, a side that have been so good defensively in the Malaysian League this season. Find themselves behind in the AFC Champions League. And here come Nagoya Grampus again. Mateus. Just blocked off the ball by Corbin Ong. That went out of play. Reached the semi-finals in 2009. Nagoya. Double change coming up. Abe and Shumpai are the two players coming off for Nagoya. Yoichiro and Kazuya are the two players that are coming on. Chihiro's played in the AFC Champions League twice with Cerezo Osaka. Kazuya, part of the under-17 Japanese team that played in the UAE in 2013 in the under-17 World Cup. Bergson. No foul was the shout, but there was a foul and a yellow card for Bergson for the challenge in Inagaki after the whistle had gone. Three players surround him. It was just the reaction. He got the free kick. A little push, a little nudge in the stomach, and an unnecessary yellow card for Bergs. Insa's ball in. Afik. Well, they just need to keep their heads at the moment, Johor Darul. They'll be disappointed, obviously, with the goal and the decision not to get the offside. But they need to try and keep their heads. Triple change for the Malaysians coming up. Davis is on. Safik is coming on as well, as is Ramadan. Kunnalan is one of those to go off. Maurizio just taking a whack in the face off Yamasaki. So say Ramadan is on. Matthew Davis has also come on. Someone else has just taken a knock. Corbin on with the ball in. It was over Arif, who was just holding his jaw after that initial challenge. On towards Bergson, allowed to run to Arif. Safik, the substitute. Larry. Corbin on. Just shading the passes at the moment. I'll say shading by just 101 as we approach the midway point of the second half. I think the other players to go off, by the way, was Safawi and Afik for Johor Darul. That's a little flick towards Ramadan. Gets the ball across, no height on it though, comfortably cut out by Shinosuke. Yatuka. Kazuya. Minsa trying to stab the ball forward. Kazuya. Nobody far enough forward. Larry could easily shepherd that to Farazal, who's come a long way out of his goal. And Nagoya will take on Pohang Steelers next. If they get the 3 points, it'll be the battle of the teams that have won their opening games. That could be a key game. As I say, with only the top team in each group going through to the knockout stages. Or the top team guaranteed, rather. It's Larry's header. Be interesting to see Nagoya's tactics with 20 minutes left. Do they go for a second goal? They know that Johor with Bergson have got a natural goal scorer in the ranks. They'd love to get a second just to put a bit of distance between themselves and the Malaysians. Here is Bergson. Kimoto came straight over the top. There was no foul. Challenge on Inagaki. Good play from Kazuya. Mateus. Kazuya was caught by Corbinong. And Corbinong may have come off worst out of that challenge. Yeah, he's going to need some treatment here. Lever Corbinong. Actually born in London. He is Malaysian, born in London. Parents were studying psychiatry and nursing respectively. Moved to Edmonton when he was just a year of age, Corbinong. Could have played for Canada, Barbados, England or Malaysia. Played once for Canada against Scotland. There's the reaction to the goal from Farazal. Yamasaki looks suspiciously like he may just have been offside, but Farazal going to the official. Yamasaki is coming off, and Nagasawa is coming on. Now Corbinong's off the pitch, so the game can continue. I think Yamasaki's just been booked actually as well before he left the field for that challenge. Here's Nagasawa, the substitute. First touch for him. Corbinong looks as though he's okay to continue. Corbinong has picked up a yellow for his part in that incident as well. Insa. Now Maurizio. Benjamin Moore on the touchline. He's only 41 years of age, Benjamin Moore. Looks like he's kicking every ball with his team down there at the moment. Worked with Luciano Figueroa, won the treble back in the 2019 season, the Charity Shield, the Malaysian Super League and the Malaysian Cup. It's been a trophy-laden few years, really, for Johor. After the Crown Prince and the heir to the throne took over, won the Malaysian National League under the Croatian Bojan Hodak. And then between 2014 and 2020, they won 7 consecutive league titles. Quite a remarkable achievement when you think the best before that was 2 in a row for any team. Yoichiro was allowed to run, just nicked away from Nagasawa in the nick of time by Leandro Yutaka. Now Yonemoto. Kazuya. Mateus. Good movement now from Nagoya. Good ball across from Inagaki. Nobody attacking it in the middle, though. It's probably where Yamazaki would have been had he been on the field, but he was substituted a few moments ago. Now foul by Soma on Andrew Davis. (1995-96) is a season that resonates well with Nagoya Grampus supporters, or Grampus 8 as we mentioned they were then. Arsene Wenger was coach. They won the Emperor's Cup, finished second in the J-League. Dragan Stojkovic and Gary Lineker both in the team. Also won the Emperor's Cup in 1999, but then in 2010 they finally managed to lift their first J-League title when Stojkovic had taken over as coach by then. Members of the original 10 in the J-League. Good play again by Mateus. 2 against 2. Mateus looking around for help. He's only really got Soma with him at the moment. Mateus again. Went for goal himself. Wasn't too far away from that top corner. Leandro. Larry. It's noticeable that Nashto Insa's got deeper, the game's gone on. He was playing quite an attacking role in the first half, but he's just dropped almost in between the two central defenders, Maurizio and Larry, in this second half. Here is Maurizio. Larry. Safiq. It's a good ball to Bergson. Slight miscontrol, but allowed Kazuya a chance to play the ball out. Corbin on with a throw on towards Bergson, headed away by Yonemoto. Farazal's a long way out of his goal here. Everybody back behind the ball for Nagoya Grampus. Maurizio. Now Larry. Insa. Larry. Leandro. Spins away again. Little back heel to Safi. Bergson tried to set it up for Leandro. Good pressure this from Johor Darul. They just need some end product. Davis. Maurizio. Bergson. Bergson having to come deep. Need him in the forward line, really, if any balls come into the box. Safi. Now Maurizio. Corbin on. Inset. Larry's forced all the way back to Farazal, and they'll start again. Johor. It's turned into a good ball. It'll be kept in.
Easy. Mark, here. No foul, good.
Akia. Corbin on. 2 on the chase again. Too much on it though. Ramadan won't keep that one in play. Akia came on a moment or so ago, by the way, in place of Arif. 4 changes made now by Johor. Have had 6 shots on goal, but nothing that's really tested Langerak. Davis. Clock ticking into the final 10 minutes here at the Raja Mangala Stadium. Nagoya leading by a goal to 0. Rajuka Abe's goal had a hint of offside about it when the ball was played through, as does that. The flag stays down again, and it's pushed wide by Yorchiro. And for the second time, the Johor defenders berate the assistant referee on this near side. Farazal again. Maurizio saying his piece to the referee. And it was Larry that stepped up. It's one of those, if you have VAR, then if the ball goes in, you're certainly checking it, but he certainly looked up half of the body, looked to be offside. Larry was out very quickly. So difficult, though, for the assistants when the play is that quick. It's even difficult for us to determine sometimes with replays, and difficult job that the assistant referees have these days. Came to nothing in the end, though. Kazuya with a throw. Nagoya leads still by, so that single goal. Away by Larry. Pohang Steelers got off to a winning start earlier against Ratchaburi. Ratchaburi will play Johor Darul in their next game in a couple of days, or 3 days' time. Insert. Challenge on Davis, which has gone unpunished. Yutaka got across. Little wag of the finger to the assistant referee. Davis couldn't get down the outside. Another double change here. Soma coming off. Naoki Maeda is the player coming on. And Mateus is the other player coming on. And Manabu Sato is the man coming on. So a fifth and final change for Nagoya Grampus, who are just seeing out time at the moment. 6 minutes plus stoppages to go before they can celebrate a victory in their opening game. Can Johor find an equaliser in the minutes that remain? Insa. Safiq. Nagoya have just shaded the possession, 54%. Sides have managed just 3 shots on target between them. Inagaki. Naoki cutting back inside, just scuffed the shot. It's a good chance, a little bit of an opening for him, straight at Farazal. He's quick to try and get his side moving forward. Good header by Kimoto. Corbinong. Offside against Akyar. Still only made 1 start during the whole of his career, Mohamed Akyar for Johor. Another sub-appearance for him today. There's Safiq. Not like handball, and will be handball. Nagasawa just turned his back on the ball, just clipped his arm. Nashto Insa. Maurizio. Expanded AFC Champions League this year. 20 clubs in each, East and West. Hence the reason only the top team goes through. Winning your first game is a massive confidence booster. 6 games to come, of course. The teams effectively play each other home and away, despite the fact they're all playing the games in the same stadium. Have Johor just run out of steam now as we approach the final 3 minutes? Farazal. Safiq. Good header from Shinosuke. He's been excellent at the back. And again. Let's get the ball in the middle. Johor playing back towards the halfway line once again. Not going to do any damage there. Larry. Corbinong. Akyar. 2 defenders quickly around him. They've defended well. Nagoya Grampus, they've defended the lead well. That's for sure after going a goal to the good. Corbinong looking to get some distance on this. Larry's gone up just in front of the goalkeeper. They are going to take the throw in first before the substitution. Corbinong launches long, finds a white head in the penalty area. Couldn't pick out a blue shirt. That's launched back in again towards Maurizio. Nodded back in towards Lowry. Whistle goes, offside, flag was up against Lowry. Now they can make the change. It was actually Maurizio that had just strayed offside. Good decision. Change has been made. Asrif Nazrul Haq has come on. Asrif. Nashto Insa, just out of the reach of Bergson. Into 4 minutes added time at the end of the 90. Johor, for all their efforts, they just look a little bit devoid of ideas at the moment to try and break down this Nagoya defence. Chested off by Bergson, just out of the reach of Insa. Insa. Leandro. It's a good ball. Bergson making ground into the middle. Akyar's there as well. That's a great run. It's too much on the cross though. Straight into the midriff of Asrif. Insa. Maurizio. Played forward with pace. The attacker trying to keep Ramadan out wide. Davis needs a bit of quality. Bergson! Whistle's gone, it won't count. Bergson's adjudged to have pushed the defender. And he can't believe it. It's the best move of the match. And it looked as if it had resulted in an equaliser. But the referee's given the free kick. Great ball in. Bergson with a header. Thought he'd got another goal in what's been an impressive season. But it's just not been Johor's day. There was an arm on Kimoto when the ball came in. There was a little nudge, but there's not too much in that. I think Kimoto's made the most of it, and Bergson denied a goal. Well, there's the little nudge that pushed him off the ball. It was 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, and Bergson, I think, has a right to feel aggrieved. "11 goals in 11 games in the league, but denied an opening goal in the AFC Champions League group stage." They've saved the best moment for the match to last, really, because it was the best delivery we've seen into the penalty area for the whole of the 90 minutes. It's Maurizio. Johor will certainly feel hard done by. I felt there was an offside in the build-up to the goal. Foul on Kazuya. So they play Ratchaburi from Thailand in their next game on Friday. Well, Nagoya Grampus will play Pohang Steelers, who also won their opening game today. That could be a pivotal moment in terms of the psychology of the group. Here's Naoki. Stabbed out of play by Akyar. And this should be the last action of the match. And he can't fault the effort and the work rate of Benjamin Mora's side. He might still have a bit more defending to do here with the corner, or will Nagoya just keep it in the corner? Yoichiro wins the throw. Akyar away as the referee from the UAE brings the game to a close. Disappointment for Johor Darul, a shake of the head from Maurizio. They've been beaten in the end by a single goal. Nagoya Grampus in the second half with Harajuku Abe getting the goal. There was a hint of offside about it. It led to fury. Bergson denied for a little push on Kimoto in stoppage time with a flying header which rocketed past Langerak. But the referee's whistle brought his celebrations to a premature end, and it wasn't to be today for the Malaysians. Yutaka was involved in a good battle over on that far side in the first half. And Nagoya Grampus join Pohang Steelers at the top of the group on 3 points after the opening matches. Johor will need to raise themselves. They play again in 3 days' time against Ratchaburi, the team that also lost today. And if they play like that, they'll certainly cause teams a few problems in this group. Langerak and Andrew Davis just having a few words, the two Aussies. But it was that single goal in the second half that enabled the points to go the way of the Japanese on the opening day of the AFC Champions League group stage. It's Japan and the Korea Republic that sit top of the group after the opening round of matches. It's finished here at the Raja Mangala Stadium. Johor Darul to 0, Nagoya Grampus 1.